and welcome to part 2 of how to tap into your spiritual gifts, or how to up-level your spiritual gifts. Make sure you go check out video 1 because there's a ton of information that you need to know in that one as well. And before we get into these, this is how I learned to heal on my journey and how to step into the things that I do currently. Your path and your journey may look very different. This is a framework. This is not a you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But in saying that, this is a framework that I teach my clients and it works. First, we need to regulate our central nervous system, okay? Because there's so many of us that are living in chaos and anxiety and fight or flight. You can't tap into your spiritual gifts if you are dysregulated. Okay, I'm just going to say that straight out, okay? You have to ground. And you have to learn how to plug in to your human experience instead of kind of disassociating from it, which if you have done that in the past or you do that now, that's not your fault. It's probably trauma stuff and PTSD, and you were never taught how to process your emotions. Oh, I forgot to put process your emotions on here, but that one goes right with regulating your central nervous system because we are energy in motion. Channeling gifts and different frequencies and dimensions brings up a lot of emotional stuff. And if we are embodied with all of these heavy, dense emotions, it's very difficult to channel. Okay, so got to regulate your central nervous system. You got to be in a calm, relaxed state of mind to be able to shift your brainwave states. If you want to work with clients or you want to get in your Akashic records, you have to be very calm and centered and able to be the observer of your thoughts so that you can kind of push them to the side and get in those higher frequencies. And I'm not saying you have to be at a place in your life where you don't have thoughts. I have thoughts running all the live long day. Okay. Self-limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But we have to be able to detach from that momentarily to be able to connect to our multidimensionality. And if you are dysregulated, you're not going to be able to do that because you're so deep in your human experience and letting all of the things around you affect you so greatly. You have to be able to become the observer of self. Okay. And one way that you do that is through learning about your chakras. Even if you don't end up becoming a Reiki practitioner or a Reiki master, learning how to read what is going on in your root chakra and your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, it helps you pinpoint trauma. It helps you pinpoint PTSD. It also helps you process those things out of your body. Awareness is key. Just sometimes knowing what is going on with self starts to delayer those things. And in order for you to be tapped into higher esoteric information and spiritual gifts and abilities, you have to clean up the muck. You have to unravel trauma from around your inner children because that's what's perpetuating behavioral patterns and triggers and anxiety and depression. It's unprocessed stuff from the past. And so is it always fun to dig through that stuff and heal it? No. But that is the healer's path. Once you learn how to do that with self, now we can do it with other people. Working with your chakras can also help you be more psychic, because now we're able to read other people and their energy fields and their auric fields, which could also help you in your interpersonal relationships and dealing with other people, interacting with other people, because it also helps you with people pleasing and imposter syndrome and demasking. It helps you purge all of those core wounds that cause issues with others in the first place. Inner child healing also helps you tap into your imagination and your creativity and helps you tap into different frequencies and dimensions, because children do not have the same stress adult lenses as we do, and they're more in a state of wonderment. So unraveling those things around them naturally helps you shift into higher frequencies. What, how, and why questions. Anytime I'm doing Akashic record work with people, I always tell them, or teaching them how to do that, I tell them yes and no questions don't work. Because the Akashic records or just you understanding yourself at a deeper level, yes and no is very predictive and it's very definitive. And so if you want to understand yourself, ask yourself open-ended questions. And a great way to do this, if you can't hear your higher self, is to teach yourself how to be a higher self to your inner children by asking them what, how, and why questions. Because if you change their perception and their lenses of reality, that changes you in the here and now that clears the path for you to be able to hear your higher self. And so the next one is personifying your next higher self. We have lots of different higher selves, okay? you a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. It's a ladder system, okay? I couldn't hear my higher self. I healed my inner children. All of a sudden I could hear my higher self, okay? But sometimes it's very confusing, the downloads and the information that we're getting, because you're trying to talk to you a year from now, 10 years, 15, 20 years from now. Different versions of you. This is why it's important to get clear on what your goals are, maybe let's say a year from now, and make them tangible, something that you can accomplish, right? And push yourself outside your comfort zone though, okay? Go bigger than what you expect for yourself. And then it's more attainable because you're talking to a version that's a lot closer to you. And of course you can still talk to the other higher selves, but it's a lot easier to manage life and make it more micro bites if you have a higher self a year from now to directly speak to. Then we have energetic boundaries. Energetic boundaries are different than interpersonal boundaries. Interpersonal boundaries are more like psychology of how you communicate with other people in your 3D human life. And are you being respected? Are you being listened to? Energetic boundaries are not taking on other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. This is not reading people's subconscious 24/7. This is not letting spirits talk to you all the time. Okay, we're not open for business hours 24/7. This is not being everyone's therapist if it's not an equal energy exchange. Okay. Then we have channeling abilities. It really helped me to listen to hundreds of different channelers talk about the different ways that they were channeling and what channeling means to them, because everybody channels in a very different way, and it's very beneficial to find people like yourself who do it similarly. Like, I don't see images, I feel images, and for a long time I thought that I was doing something wrong. Nope. It turns out there's a whole bunch of people that are like that too, and I needed to find them in order to understand my own gifts. I also watched hundreds of Reiki and light language and quantum healing videos, and that really helped me open up my channels by being around so many different types of frequencies and different ways that people were doing things. Also learning about the different clairs. I think there's 8. There's like claircognizance, clairaudience, clairempathy, clairsentience, clairsalience. Lots of different types, okay? Even if some of those are not your gifts, you can learn them. Everybody can learn. Some people are born with specific gifts, like right out the gate, but you can learn anything. But just learning about the different types can really help to open up your channels. Researching different gifts, different modalities. Just get a little bit from all of them, okay? Because you never know where something is going to lead you. Like, I didn't intentionally go looking for the Akashic Records and Reiki. I was learning about a whole bunch of different other modalities, and then all of a sudden I heard the keywords and it unlocked something within me. I was like, oh dang, this sounds familiar, this sounds really interesting, let me head down this path. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, I'm really talented in this, like, naturally. And so just learning about different things, different knowledge and different wisdom. Self-concept and worthiness. In order to do these esoteric, outside of the societal construct things, you got to be strong-willed within yourself, and learning that magic is safe, and that there's a lot of people that are interested and will support you on that journey, that you're not out here alone and isolated. So you got to continue to work on those things. Spending time in your imagination. Imagination is the portal door into you being able to receive or perceive different frequencies and dimensions. So back again to with your inner children, working with them helps you get in your imagination. Okay, we're going to hurry through these. Okay, time not being linear. Please research that, because in order for you to work with different timelines, or your inner children, which are different timelines of self, we need to have a better concept of how time is not constructually built like we have decided in this human lifetime. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Learning about quantum physics, like the observer effect. Highly recommend learning about the observer effect. Okay, that will help you understand how the quantum field works. And lastly, your self-love journey. That is the key to unlocking everything. You are naturally spiritually gifted and psychically gifted, but our human facadal lens tells us that we have to learn those things. You already know how to do those things. It's a remembrance, and self-love is a way to take those facadal lenses and shrouds off, so you can look at yourself and say, wow, oh my God, it's me. I remember myself.